Master your mind and guide it intelligently. Learn to use your powers unless you wish to be used by them. But what are these two powers? The power of thought and speech. These were the two powers given to us as conscious and sentient beings on Earth, and they were given to us by the Creator. No other creature on the planet has these two powers, but the sad thing is, even though we have these powers, most people tend to use these powers in the wrong way. 2% of people think, 3% of people think they think, and 95% of people would rather die than think. Most people consider thinking to be choosing what restaurant they'll go to for dinner tonight, or choosing what pair of shoes they'll end up buying when they're at the mall. But this is surface level thinking. It's not deep, true thinking. Real deep thinking consists of deep, critical shadow work of oneself and analyzing how the world works, their place in it, and understanding why they believe what they believe and where exactly their belief system came from. And then unlearning any useless programmed information and relearning potentially their entire worldview. And then finally, once this has been done, putting all of their knowledge and understanding into action. Because knowledge and understanding without moral action to help humanity evolve is useless. So in order for us as a collective to help evolve our consciousness, we're going to be talking about in this video the basics of the law of mentalism, how it can be used both for and against us, and why this is the most important law of the universe for us to understand. The law of mentalism states that the all, everything in creation is a manifestation of mind. So what does this mean? This means that everything that happened has to be a result of everything that came before it. So I want you guys to think about the tablet or the phone or the computer that you're watching this video on. I want you to look at it, and then I want you to look at and feel the chair you're sitting in, or wherever, if you're standing, your room, your environment, where you are, and realize that these were all ideas in someone's mind at one point. For anything to exist, thoughts had to form first. And then those thoughts formed the physical reality after. The universe itself is a mental construct of the Creator. Thoughts lead to the manifestation of things and events. Thoughts create conditions. Things and conditions cannot just magically manifest themselves. Thoughts come first. Thoughts create our state of existence and the quality of our experience here on Earth. So it's essential we should be responsible for everything we create by being responsible for everything we think. The thought processes we have are driving our behavior. People behave the way they do because they have certain belief systems embedded in their mind and running like a program. Their thoughts and emotions are driving their actions. Nobody's behavior is just magically going to change. As we talked about in the last video, guys, you have to realize that the world is never going to change if we're stuck constantly worrying about the effects of the circumstances we're currently in, instead of peeling back the page and looking at, oh, this is the cause of what has happened and what has led up to our current world events and circumstances taking place, and getting to the root of the cause. This would be like bandaging your leg from falling down a hole while walking down the sidewalk every single day, and constantly bandaging your leg up, but continuing to walk down the same street with the same hole in it, and then getting pissed off that there's a hole in the middle of the street that you continuously fall into, instead of realizing, oh, there's a hole in the ground. I'm going to walk on the other side of the street this time so I don't fall in the hole. Similarly, our thoughts and emotions have to change because that's the driving force behind our behavior. And once you do this, that's when our reality can change. You have to go to the cause first. Most people, unfortunately, don't want to hear that if you want to change your reality, then you, yourself, have to change the way you think, because the way you think is not beneficial for getting what you say you want. And most people are doing the exact opposite in many cases. But this isn't necessarily your fault if your life circumstances aren't where you'd like them to be. Just like Matt Damon was told by Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting, it's not your fault, because this information was purposefully hidden from us in school, the books we have access to, and the string pullers at the top. Think tanks, social engineers, and their medium, the media, have hidden this information from us so they could use it to shape our minds to their liking. They did this slowly, starting with the radio in the early 1900s, building trust with the families who'd gather around it and listen to the radio after dinner each night. Then they introduced the television in 1927, which could now have a deeper emotional impact on people since it could be both viewed and listened to. And now finally with computers and tablets, which we can take anywhere. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying these inventions were entirely bad for humanity. These inventions, as we all know, could be used for both good and bad purposes. But in the hands of the wrong visionary or think tank psychologists, these technologies present the perfect opportunity for them to influence the masses of the population to think and then do as they're told. Believe in a certain political party. Believe in a man-made religion and science. Believe in the world being a certain way, which is usually negative, etc. Essentially, believe the way we want you guys to think. All of these different belief systems most people have come from the top down, in alignment with the ruling class's way of reshaping society. They plant the seed thoughts in our minds through media and websites, and these seed thoughts eventually sprout into action or inaction in our daily lives. So what can we do about this? We should consciously guard our minds at all times and push out anything that isn't moral for us and humanity at large. Stand guard at the portal of your mind. Ralph Waldo Emerson. As I discussed in my How the Mind Works video, we have two parts to our mind, the subconscious and the conscious mind. The conscious mind is what we're actively thinking about. It thinks and plans and analyzes, and it's our short-term memory. On the other hand, the subconscious mind is what we've learned or stored in our brain. It stores our emotions, habits, addictions, intuitions, involuntary bodily functions like our heartbeat or breathing, and long-term memory. With an understanding of this, it's up to us to consciously be present enough in our thinking to accept or reject the constant bombardment of thoughts coming at us all day long. And thoughts not just from the media, but those in our environments. Because the conscious mind, which I want you to visualize as an inner soldier, stands guard and like a real soldier is alert and present in choosing what thoughts can and cannot enter your subconscious mind. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's grueling, constant work. This is why George Bernard Shaw said most people would rather die than think. Why this is the most important law in the universe. The law of mentalism is the most important of the laws of the universe, because our habitual thoughts are constantly creating our reality on Earth, and everything that exists came from our mind. And it's vitally important we understand that this state of the current physical reality we live in came from all of our collective thinking patterns. All of ours. Therefore, in order for us to help create better conditions on Earth for our children and grandchildren, we should watch what we're habitually thinking and what manifests from it. While this isn't easy, it's worth it, and it's the only way we can positively impact the world and people.